Hey everybody, Jared of Second Life Design. Welcome back to Milling Monday. It has been a crazy end of summer. I took a little vacation, took a trip with some friends. I bought a new Jeep, or a new to me Jeep, and then that was it's been quite the process. And that's why I've been so distant. It's just kind of life happens, and I want to produce more, but I gotta just keep on plugging away with everything else as well. So it's try to make the best of it. I'm hoping when the winter comes around, when I'm stuck inside a little bit more, I can put some more content out for you guys. I have a lot of milling stuff coming. I know I keep saying that, but it's on the way. I have my new chainsaw. I've shown that. I should have my new bar and mill kind of set up. I should have that in the next week or so. So there's going to be a lot of stuff on breaking in a saw, new mill assembly, all the fun stuff that's coming. So I know I always say this at the end of the videos, but I do appreciate everyone's patience. This last 2 or 3 months has been just a weird time where I've been nonstop kind of every weekend, every day, every night of the week, everything. So it's been a crazy time. But tonight we're going to do part 2 of log trailers. The second three types of trailers I've had. Last week we talked about the Harbor Freight trailer, and I talked more in depth about that one because I didn't have a lot of content about that. The next 2 types, the other 2 that I've had and used and I've owned, I've covered a lot in other videos. So I'm going to kind of do an overview of it, but there is a ton of information in other videos about it. So I just kind of give an overview, and I'll want to touch base on how to find one. Okay, I'm great. I know what kind I want. How do I get one? I think that'd be more useful at this point than kind of going over the same features again and why it works or whatever. So one we're talking about tonight is the flatbed swinging arch style, more popularly known as the Cremona trailer. Mine in particular is absolutely the Cremona trailer because, as many people know, I bought my current log trailer from Matt Cremona himself. He built himself a new one, and he graciously sold me the old one. It is a well-loved former skid steer trailer that he fabricated the arch, the winch mount, did all the axles, got all those kind of in working order, and used it for a long time. I'm on my 2nd year with it, still works like a champ. So yeah, that's what I have now, and that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight. They've been covered so much. If you search log trailer here on YouTube, you're going to find a million hits for this type. Everybody and their brother would just go buy an old car trailer or landscaping trailer, then weld on some mounts and put the little swinging arch on it, and they're in business. I think there's more room for improvement out there than that. I think you need to consider tie downs. I would definitely look for something with a steel deck. When we're talking about looking for a trailer for yourself, if I were to do it again, or if I'm starting from scratch, I'm going to find an old skid steer trailer, something that is 6 foot wide, 10, 12 feet long, the minimum, 3,000, 5,000 pound axles under it, something really short and squat, heavy, wide. That's what I would look for. I know people find landscape trailers and they think they're the greatest thing because they're so long. I can get more stuff on them. At least with the type of logging I do, or I'm going into cities and finding things, that would be way too long, to back. I've got a long truck, backing that into somebody's driveway to pick something up. The amount of length from the end of the trailer to the axles is a really long way. That seems kind of like a weak point to me. It just seems unnecessary to have something that long unless you're just a full-time log jockey moving really, really heavy things all the time and you have the trailer to match it. Yeah, I would start by finding a skid steer trailer. I cannot stress enough how awesome it is having a steel deck. I've moved things on a wood deck before. It sucks. You get a wet log against wet wood. That is all kinds of friction that really, it's hard to even know how much it's stopping you until you get a steel deck and things just slide right across it. So yeah, we're talking the swinging arch style of trailer. I would absolutely, old skid steer trailer, equipment trailer, that's what I would tend towards. I myself am in the kind of the mindset of buying a good used unit and repairing it, keeping it up as needed. there's something to be said for some people of just finding a new one. You know, if you have the budget, go buy a new one or make a new one if you can, and just have new, and you know, don't have to replace anything. I don't operate on that kind of budget. I've found that the log work is really hard on things. You're really gonna, most log trailers are only new for a short time before they get beat up pretty hard. You're in an environment where there could be a tree truck putting the log on the trailer. There could, you know, you're moving heavy, you know, things that weigh tons of pounds, and they're sliding around as you're loading them, and it just, fenders can get smashed, and it's a very easy way to damage things. So just the thought of buying a new one just to damage it or, you know, bang it up is kind of cringy to me. So I look for used. That's what I would go for. I found suitable trailers that would make good log trailers for $1,500 on, you know, Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. They're out there. That's going to depend on your area a lot, obviously. If something's going to be rode really hard, you know, the axles are shot in it, that's going to be dependent on your area as well, and what your knowledge of things is. If you can replace that and save yourself some bucks, then great. If not, maybe, you know, maybe building a new one or buying a new one would be the best option. I would definitely get as much practice in as you can in rigging and getting the logs picked up and getting the right amount of slack. You know, the slack from picking up the chain to getting it onto the deck. There is an art to that I'm still working on, where you really can't take as much of a bite at it as you think you can, because what it's going to happen, you're going to get high centered and your log's just going to be stuck, where it's hanging in the air and it ain't going to go anywhere. So that's kind of an inconvenient thing. It makes you a better hand at rigging things, I will say that at the minimum. This is kind of a weird video, guys, because I've covered covered this trailer so many times. I don't want to kind of rehash the same thing. I'm trying to cover things that I've not generally gone over before. But yeah, I don't think this is the best trailer just for moving logs. I think it's the best all-around trailer to have, in that you can take the arch off and then you still have your flatbed trailer. You know, I've taken mine and I had 2 pallets of landscape block loaded onto it. It's, you know, it moves heavy things all the time. It wasn't a problem. So it was very handy having that, you know, having that capability or that option. So yeah, it's the best all-around option. If you ever lucky enough to buy a forklift or a small skid steer or something, you could go pick it up. You know, that's something you could not do with the tank hauler type. So, you know, there's a lot of different pros and cons to this. There's been covered by a lot of people, but yeah, this is kind of an odd video to shoot, I guess, guys. So I appreciate your patience and sticking with it. Please put comments or questions below of anything I'm forgetting or something I'm not covering. Yeah, this has been an odd time, as I said, in life. I've got a lot going on, and finding time to video has just been really tough right now. So I appreciate everybody sticking with me. And if you're still watching at this point, God bless you. Yeah, if you have any other questions, drop them down below. You can always find me on Instagram at Secondlifedesign. And yeah, have a good night, guys.